Yo, what's up guys, it's Blake, and today I'm going to show you guys how to cook up a fire hyperpop, Trippie red, Yeat type of sample from scratch. Now I know hyperpop is super overdone nowadays, especially with people making tutorials about it. I do just want to throw out my sauce to the internet just to see if you guys can learn anything, so yeah, let's get right into it. Alright guys, so first I'm going to play a snippet of the finished sample and then I'll get into the breakdown. Starting off with the main chords, I did go with the 3x oscillator, and this is what I did with the presets. I really was just tweaking the knobs a little bit here and there, nothing too crazy, but the main thing you want to have is that these are your sound waves for all three of these. So yeah, here's the chords played out. These chords are dope, but what really takes this sound to the next level is the stopping points I have for the chords. Just stopping it before this chord and in between these chords and in between these little notes right here. It makes so much bounce for the sample, literally so much bounce, and it gives you so many pockets to throw 808s in, percussion, and that's why I did that. Also, I have this note down here that extends further out, and it just plays by itself right at this little section right here, and it just gives it just a little bit of a different texture, and so you can really feel this bottom note, but only for just a little bit of time. And I have it extended out into this next chord because it fits into the chord perfectly. Whenever you cut your note, the sound will stop completely, which is why the space between here works like that. And why I added these little notes right here is just a little transition into the next bar. I wanted it to just add it. I added it just to have some ear candy to the beat, and I don't have it in all sections. For the next 8 bars, here's the pattern that I have right here. I did this just to change it up, give the melody a little bit of variation, and I also have another sound later that I'll break down in this sample that follows the same exact pattern, and it just flows really well. Here's the EQ I threw on for these chords. Next I went into this guitar preset in Atmosphere, and here's the pattern that I have. I've really enjoyed working around with electric guitars and Omnisphere. It's just a different type of instrument that I'm not really used to mixing or really just using in general, but this is just a little experimentation that I had, just some notes sparsed out throughout the pattern that I thought just add as a nice cadence to the first chords that I went over. Next I went into Arcade, into the Retro Aliens preset. Arcade added this new lead bank that is super fire, and I've just been messing around with, chopping up some leads. So this is what I did for this sample. This lead ended up being super simple, and I just wanted it more in the background of the melody. If you remember with the chords, I had this spot cut out, and so I just filled it in with this lead. I went into Arcade again for these vocals. For the EQ, I cut out most of the low end and I boosted the highs a little bit. Next, I took a compressor and pushed up the gain 4.6 decibels. And then I threw on a good amount of reverb just to give it some more texture. The last sound in this melody is the crying whammy guitar lead, and this is the pattern I played out. This lead is really important because once those chords are going and the subtle guitars and the vocal elements are in the sample, once it progresses, it just needed something else. So this is what that lead does. It just adds a little bit of spice to the melody, especially this little part right here. It gives the sample a little more emotion, a little more feeling. It's one of those leads that you hear and you're just like, whoa. And you can really fill in some crazy 808s along with that pattern as well. That is about it for the sample, but lastly, a tip for if you want to send out some samples to producers to use, what you do is you just lay out your sample with the sounds progressing however you like, and this is just how I like the samples to progress. And then you lay out each of your individual sounds into stems, and you just stem it out, and you leave some space in between the sounds because in case there's a little bit of delay, the sound will bleed into the other sound, which is something you don't want. But yeah, just stem out your sounds like that, and then you're good to go to send out the loops. So yeah guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see y'all next time.